The DMC anime by Adi Shankar is quite controversial, let's leave it at that. I'll say from the start, I didn't really like the way the show portrayed the characters. The story was too political, power scaling was weird slash inconsistent, yada yada yada. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop this bit. You know what, I'm probably just gonna use that as the censor sound now. But yeah, you guys probably already watched some other video about the DMC anime and knew about its good and bad points. But I thought to myself, maybe I'm judging it too harshly. Maybe if I compared some points from the anime with the games, I'd have better judgment. So this video is basically that. Here are the differences between the DMC anime and games. I'm gonna mix in my thoughts and opinions as we go along the differences, so please keep that in mind. Also, it's 100% not gonna be perfect and there's some stuff I would miss, so please tell me in the comments of those missed points. So let's start with the story. So obviously, the story from the games and the anime are completely different. And you probably know already, but the anime is 100% not canon to the games, unlike the 2007 Madhouse one. The anime is inspired by the DMC3 manga, seeing how it's Dante before DMC3 and the White Rabbit character. That's where it ends though, inspired with a quotation mark. The manga story is more intertwined with the story of DMC3 as it's an actual prequel to the events of that game. Virgil's there, though him and Dante didn't meet the whole time they were in the manga. The White Rabbit's motives are similar to Arkham, where he wants to get Dante's medallion to open the portal to hell, all that DMC3 plot stuff. His motivations are vague, considering he just up and disappeared after the first chapter of the manga. But in the anime, somehow the White Rabbit's a human who turned demon, and even though their motivation of opening a portal to hell is the same, both manga and anime, the goal of the anime rabbit is to revolutionize and or integrate the weaker demons to human society, whilst also bringing in the strong-ass demons that can kill every human along with it. Yeah, very weird. I'll give it to them though, at least he has a story arc in the anime. But that brings me to my next point. In the anime, the story focuses on politics? Look, I'm not from America, so I'm not too knowledgeable about this stuff, but the game's always focused on character development and internal struggles and stuff. For example, Dante learning to accept his demon side in 3, Virgil accepting his human self in 5, Nero trying to be a better devil hunter and protect slash reconcile with the Sparta family. That kind of stuff, which to me personally is relatable, easily understandable, and a simple but fitting story for a series which focuses a lot on action, slapstick jokes, and dumb shit. However, in anime, it's all about demon discrimination, which is kinda weird if you've played the games. Even a low-level demon could easily kill a higher-than-average soldier in the games, but here they put like demon refugees, who are sort of a vulnerable type of species in the demon world. Also, it just kinda feels like Adi Shankar is forcing this narrative too much on the setting which has been given, or chose. I don't know, I'm not too knowledgeable about the behind the scenes part, but I also heard he's kinda admitting himself of being the self-insert for the bunny. That's really cringe, not gonna lie. But yeah, the government of America's questionable ethics and morals, the inclusion of God's will, which as a Christian is kinda off-putting. It's all very weird and too realistic of a plot for a series like DMC, which focuses a lot on the action and comedy. I mean, it would probably work if he made his own IP and ran with it, but it just doesn't sit right with me seeing these characters tackle a topic that, instead of filling you with excitement like the games, instead is just sucking your brain on real life politics and shit.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
I'm about to cry, bro. Okay, so let's first talk about the main character of the series, Dante. Yeah, just kidding. It's Lady. You've seen the memes, you've seen the videos.
Mother neck. Dumb devil.
You know what I'm talking about. The accursed Lady May Cry. So yeah, I don't think I have to explain much here. Lady in games is this strong character who overcame her dilemma of her father becoming a demon, who also unalived her mother, and she sought revenge for doing so. Throughout the MC3, you could see her actually develop her character without needing to swear every 10 seconds when she's on screen. She's actually pretty likable, and is one of the favorite characters in the games aside from the obvious main characters. She has a ton of badass action scenes that doesn't just look like your typical western action movie, and she matches her skills with Dante, though obviously still not as good as him considering she is still human. Keyword matches. She had her character arc. She never truly coped with unaliving her father shown in DMC5, but she accepted it and moved on with her life bearing her past sins. Now, for a lady in the anime, Jesus Christ, man. She's an unlikable character who swears like a middle schooler who found a list of curse words on the internet and studying it all at once to show off to her other friends. She's shown to be some sort of girl boss or something, like the writers really forced her character to be a strong, independent woman who don't need no man to do nothing. In the end, she came out pretentious and annoying if anything, like those SJWs you see everywhere these days. She somehow portrayed to be stronger than fucking Dante, an actual demon-human hybrid who's, even though in a prequel, is shown to have no difficulty fighting actual high-level demons. Oh wait, that's the game Dante. Oh yeah, now we're heading towards anime Dante.
Look how they massacred my boy.
He's voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, who voices Nero. In games, he's voiced by Ruben Langdon, but it doesn't bother me too much as I actually think he does a pretty good job at portraying young Dante, or even potentially older Dante for that matter. But what makes me mad is anime Dante being done dirty so many f***ing times. Like, how many times does bro have to lose? They even made something like demon bullets, which in the games doesn't really exist and nobody really needed them anyways to kill demons. And that somehow made him f***ing nerfed to the ground. Bro got captured multiple times, lost to Lady or lost to the rabbit, etc. Once again, I understand that it's a prequel to DMC3 and it's a different universe, but I still don't find it entertaining that the main character, whose description is OP by default, losing so many times to threats that are supposed to be easy to deal with. I mean, the season 2 is coming soon, but I don't have high hopes for that after seeing what happened so far in season 1. And yeah, I guess I already talked about the rabbit, but I guess I'll add a little bit more about Anime Rabbit here. He's a human who got lost in the demon world and was raised there by refugees. He got rejected entry to the human world in the efforts of evacuating by Darkcom, which is squad ladies in to protect humans from demon threats. Because after the demon refugees came in from the portal, they took too long talking and the powerful demons came to the portal destroying everything, and in turn Darkcom retaliated and committed genocide to everyone there. Man, just remembering that pisses me off based on how bullshit that sounds. Oh yeah, Dante's personality in the prequel manga is more edgy and serious. Because the show is depicting pre-DMC3 Dante, this is what I chose to compare him to. He still jokes sometimes, but not as much as the actual game, and he's mostly serious. It's like DMC2 Dante, but still likable to a certain degree. In the anime, his personality is a blend of all type of stuff, bruh. He got the fit from DMC5, personality of DMC3 and 5 combined, and he jokes like a pretentious millennial with the outdated references and stuff. I'm not saying every millennial is uncool and bad, I think most of them are pretty cool, but this one particular guy who made Dante's dialogue this way is just way too obnoxious. Both versions have plus and minuses, so I don't think I can say which is better in that regard, but if you're talking about games in any version except for 2, then I'd much rather that version of Dante than the anime. Moving on, the bosses such as the Angelos, I don't know which type it is, Acne and Rudra, whatever, they're introduced to the anime even though they appeared much later in the games. Acne and Rudra is British now for some reason though.
Let's see if he's right. You're the rabbit! Either you stop us, or we blow him out of the sky.
I mean, that's kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. And I guess Enzo's there too. He's not much of a presence in the manga. I guess if there's a difference is that he's supposedly Italian in the manga, judging by his Ciao catchphrase, and in the anime he's sort of like a midget New York guy who is, to be honest, somehow a worse character than in the manga, and that's saying something, because he's an actual f***ing asshole in the manga. He literally stole Dante's bounty from the White Rabbit's quest to party with some girls, and based on their dialogue, he keeps giving him shit jobs and trying to scam him every chance he gets. In the anime, he's sort of like Danny DeVito by his mannerisms and speech. No offense to the real Danny though. He's like that one cliche TV character who talks too much meaningless dialogue and tries to be funny with cringy jokes. Okay, actually, this one is kinda debatable. Both versions are actually bad in my opinion, but whatever, it's Enzo. There's a reason he doesn't appear again in the games. Thankfully, he's unalived in the ending, so I'm glad I don't need to see more of him later on, if I somehow watch season 2 in the future. I guess, if there's the difference that I can think of, is that Enzo in the manga is written to be forgotten later on. The author already has DMC3 as a base point for his prequel manga, so he can get that reference to work with. The anime, well, Enzo in my opinion is written to stay a little bit more longer in the story, and they try to make him a little bit more likable, but it falls flat in execution. I'm not gonna talk about Virgil because he literally appears in the anime not even for a minute, and his dialogue is for some reason only catchphrases from the game's soundtrack.
Sad. Fuck me! Fuck me! What the
In the anime, he follows Mundus not as a slave but willingly. Well, we don't know much more than that, so I guess that's that for Virgil. And I think that's kinda it for the characters. Other anime characters are either entirely original in the anime or doesn't even exist outside of the games. And yeah, the anime has its own universe and it's not canonical, blah blah blah. But I think I've covered everything major up to this point. After everything I said, it's safe to say my opinion on the series is still negative. I mean, there are some positives like good animations, good action scenes, fresh ideas, but to be honest, the negatives heavily outweigh the positive. With the season 2 already being teased this soon after a couple of weeks since the release of the first season, I don't think any critique I or any other people stating their minds on the matter can really change what's already been done. So yeah, that's all from me. I truly do love the DMC series, but I don't think I'll be supporting this specific version of the series in particular. However, if you guys have different opinions, please do tell me in the comments and I'll honestly respect those opinions. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching and bye bye.
2 green 4s stacked. Uno out.
Fuck you. Let's just fight.
Try to keep up.
Wait, what?